Hey everybody, welcome to Catholic Breakfast. Today, I'm still geeking out over Jordan Peterson, and so I'm going to do Why Jordan Peterson is Worth Listening to Part 2. It's actually his fifth rule from his books, 12 Rules of Life, which is don't let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. And here's what I call it, which is in my own description of this rule, is this principle of dealing with your dragon. Here's how I would get at it. First of all, I told that rule to someone on the Catholic Breakfast team who's a mom, and I said, that's the rule for life. Don't let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. And she looked at me like it was the worst thing she had ever heard. Like either that would totally be impractical, or what kind of megalomaniac tyrant made that rule up? As if, like, you know, the job of kids is just do whatever the parents want. That's obviously not healthy. But as I was working through the chapter and what Jordan Peterson says about it, it is really cool. It's a really cool insight. The idea is this. So Peterson has this great line. He says, a parent's job is to make their children as eminently desirable a playmate as possible. It sounds maybe silly at first, but if you think about it, it's actually really good. What is playing for a child? It's how a child becomes socialized. It's how they begin to interact with the world around them in a human way. If a child doesn't learn how to play at a very young age, they can have very serious problems later. They become a kind of monster. Peterson quotes Jung on this. He says, if you seek what is meaningful, you will encounter this dark side. So think of parents raising kids, right? You want your child to become lovable, to be able to love, to be a good playmate, to become a responsible and healthy adult. But the child isn't that way. They need a parent. They need someone to coach them and teach them and train them. But what happens so often for parents, the kid does something that they don't like, and what they do is they react badly to the darkness they see in their child. It's to use the myth that Peterson draws on, it's like a dragon, right? So whatever evil I see in the person around me that I'm responsible for, and I've experienced this as a priest. Maybe it's someone I'm responsible for spiritually as a priest. I see some evil thing in them, and I get really upset. I get angry. I get defensive. I want to run away from it. Why in the world is that happening? Why is a parent becoming personally angry by some fault that, of course, their child has? It's a great insight from Peterson. It's because it's the same evil. If you drill down deep enough into the human experience, what you've got are the same darknesses. How do we avoid this? We do it by name calling, right? Whether it's on the level of the Nazis making up names for the Jewish people, or cannibals in Africa, which come up with false names for the people that they eat. We do the same thing. Just the other day, I heard a guy say, Trump did something so bad that I've decided he's truly evil. Okay, what does that mean? It means that we're not connected anymore. Whatever evil is in him is so bad that evil doesn't exist in me. Well, what Peterson says is, a parent can do that with kids. We can do that with politicians. But at the end of the day, we're playing the same game, which is, I don't deal with the evil that's inside me. I name call it in other people so as to protect myself from it. What do you have to do? Here's the archetype of the dragon protecting the gold. So the only way to get the gold is by facing down the dragon. The only way to help my child become eminently desirable as a playmate, to become capable of love, or to help the people around me become better, if I'm going to be any good at that in a certain area, in the exact same area, I've got to face down those dragons in me. So practically, how do we do that? Well, in the Catholic tradition, what comes to my mind is spiritual exercises of Ignatius of Loyola. So the first thing you do in his exercises is you imagine the pains of hell. You imagine yourself as this monstrosity burning in the sulfur lakes in hell. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, it's super uncomfortable. But what it does is it helps me face down the demon in me, the dragon in me. What are the dragons? Well, we got a name for them in the Catholic spiritual tradition, right? It's the 7 capital sins: pride, envy, lust, greed, etc. The only way to get the gold of selflessness, of chastity, of generosity, the only way to do that is by facing down the dragon in me of greed, envy, etc. It's easy to punish the dragon, to go back to the image of the parents. It's easy just to punish the people around me. What I love about Jordan Peterson is he helps like people see that we punish each other all the time, not just parents to children, but anybody. We punish people with, I won't respond in that email. I'll give that person the silent treatment. I'll call that person a name. Oh, you're just a stupid Democrat or a stupid Republican, or you're a stupid liberal or a stupid conservative. But that's all just playing a completely pointless game, which is avoiding the evil that's in me. So it doesn't mean I'm not helping the people around me. It's by facing down the darknesses in me, I become free. And now I can be of some use to helping coach and teach and not punish the people around me. Great advice for parents, great advice for priests and pastors. Frankly, great advice for anybody who wants to learn how to play well with others.